NBC Bay Area has the only business and tech reporting team, and they have decades of experience covering Apple and the career of Steve Jobs. Scott McGrew and Scott Budman join us now. Thanks both of you for staying late tonight.
Not a problem.
McGrew, back in August when Jobs stepped down from Apple as CEO, you mentioned that he had a knack for creating things that we wanted before we ever knew we wanted them.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure I can take credit for that line, but I think that is the true genius. Is when I was at the iPod announcement in 2001, and he pulls this dumb thing out of his pocket and he gives it the dumbest name in the world, and we all say, well, there's already MP3 players, who's going to want that iPod? I didn't think it was going to work out, but somehow he knew. So,
yeah.
Yes.
That's what he's famous for. You know, he took away the hard drive. He came out with the flat mat book with no way to put in the CD-ROM. And you think, hey, wait, there's nothing to put in. And then you realize, I haven't put one in since.
Well, he took away the floppy drive, for goodness sakes. And we all thought, oh, the floppy, we have to have the floppy. Yeah.
It's true.
But earlier you were talking about how Steve Jobs didn't just create his own personal wealth, which there is a lot of that, but he also focused his vision and his talents on creatively changing the world for the rest of us in how we use technology. We talk about how we use computers, how we listen to music, how we make a telephone call. Talk to us a little bit about his impact beyond business.
He has said that the difference between Apple and other competitors, especially Microsoft, is taste. I mean, he actually uses that in a business sense. It's a sense of style. It's a sense of design. You get the feeling, you know, that if Steve Jobs had designed anything from the car to this studio, it would look entirely different. And the way it is said that iPad 1 went to iPad 2 was because one of the designers was sent to go see how a samurai sword is made. You just get the feeling other technology people don't do that.
Other technology people are in it to make money. I mean, they may have a passion, but I mean, most people go into manufacturing of objects that people are going to buy in order to make money, and Steve Jobs made a lot of money. But I think it was that passion that the world needs this thing, and I am going to bring it to them, that made him so incredible.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about making money, and yes, he made money. That really changed Silicon Valley. You think about all the Apple employees and their families and the wealth that was created. Investors that don't even work at the company. The last few years, they've all made lots of money because of a success that came from, as you say, Scott, a want to see things looking better and the passion for design.
And tangibly, we see a future with the next Apple campus being built and talk about the third Apple campus being built. So his imprint is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, no more than Edison or Alexander Graham Bell. Or they talked on CNBC about who's the next Steve Jobs, and somebody said Mark Zuckerberg. I'm going to say 100 years. The next Steve Jobs is not currently
you heard it here first.
Alive. Because we're talking Edison, Wright, Bell, that level, Carnegie, that kind of person.
You put him in that class.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll only add to that by saying I'm not even worried about the next one. Because Steve Jobs started a company in his early 20s and took it public and changed it, that is the reason we see people being taken seriously now in their early 20s when they start companies and take them public, because Steve Jobs proved and Steve Wozniak proved that it could be done.
And quickly, personally, a question for both of you. What was he like?
My favorite thing about him is, on television, I'll call it his golly-eating grin. And you can translate any way you want to. When he would walk out onto the stage and he knew something that you didn't know and he knew you were going to go buy it, that golly-gee grin was my favorite part.
I remember sitting down to interview him, and the first thing, you know, we set up all these lights and all this thing to make everything look bright. He came out, he immediately looked at the set. Wait a minute, the iMac is supposed to be white. Why is there a red gel on it? You know, and then instantly it's, whoa, this is how we do things. No, it's not how we do things. We make the iPod, and it can't be way back there because I want to touch it. You know, ultimately we ended up pulling out the seats, pulling out the lights, and saying, just grab a hold of it and show me.
And it looked a lot better.
It did, and there's something about him just walking around, touching the computer that was, you know, that's the revelation right there. You can see how much he loved it.
What we wanted before we knew we wanted it. All right. Thank you, Scotts, McGrew, and Budman. We appreciate it. Staying late and sharing your perspectives tonight. And we're right back after this. Stay with us.